from iStampin.com. Thank you for joining me today. Today's video is going to be showing you this adorable Post-it note holder. So I have created this using some cardstock. I've embossed on the cardstock. I stamped and I punched out with some DSP and some red cardstock and then just tied a ribbon. But this is just a half of a Post-it note, and I'll show you how to put all this together. But these are perfect teacher gifts for the upcoming holidays. So if you are someone who likes to give teachers, and I say this all the time, but like your coworkers at work, well, that was kind of redundant, your coworkers, any neighbors, anything like that, these are just the sweetest little Post-it note holders, and I can't tell you how many times the oohs and ahs that I get when I give these to people. And what I plan on doing is for the holidays is packaging up 3 and then putting them in a little cello bag and then putting some ribbon at the top, and then that's what I'm going to be giving as gifts. Okay, so let's get started. Let me show you how to do this. The first thing you need to do is to choose whichever cardstock you are wanting to use. Here I used Real Red, and the measurement for this piece of cardstock is 6 3/4 by 3 1/4. And I wanted to let you know that you are able to get 3 cuts out of 1 piece of cardstock. So if you measure it, then you'll be able to get 3 Post-it note holders out of 1 sheet of regular 8.5 by 11 cardstock. So I just wanted to show you that. Okay, so here we're going to use this, and then after you've cut it, so like I said, 6 3/4 by 3 1/4, you're going to get out your Simply Score tool. And we're going to place it in landscape mode. And get out your stylus or whatever you use to score. And we are going to score, let me come in a little bit here, and I'll move this in just a second. Okay. We are going to score at 3 1/4 on both sides. So the way I do it, just to ensure that I'm doing it correctly, I score it on the left side. Oops. And then I turn it over and score it again on 3 1/4. And I'm sure I could figure out what it is, but this just ensures that I've scored it properly. Okay, and then that's all we need to do with the Simply Scored tool. Okay, next what we're going to do is we're going to emboss it. And here I use the honeycomb embossing folder, and I'm going to use that again. I just love, this is probably my favorite embossing folder that we have. So let me go grab the Big Shot and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got my Big Shot and I've got the multi-purpose platform and 2 cutting plates and the embossing folder. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to move this to tab 1 because we're going to be using the embossing folder. And then lay down one of your cutting plates. And then this is how I line up the front of the cardstock into the embossing folder. Okay, so the top is always going to be where it has our emblem. And so what I do is I put it in and then I turn it upside down. And so what I'm doing is, and I'll try to see if I can get closer here. Okay, so you see the 2 score lines here? Okay, this bottom one here, this is going to be the front of the cover. So what I want to do is I want to line up the edge of the embossing folder to the very edge of the line. So if you can kind of see, that's what I'm doing. And so I just want to make sure it's all straight. If it's a little crooked, I've gotten them crooked before. If it's a little crooked, it's really not noticeable, but you know, my goal is to try to get it straight. I prefer it to be straight. Okay, so I've got it all lined up the way I want it. All right, so now what I'm going to do is the easiest way that I've found to do this is to actually make the sandwich. And here I'm doing it on camera and hopefully I didn't mess it up. Make the sandwich and then put it on to the multi-purpose platform. And then, let's see here. Okay, and then just roll it through. And hopefully I did it right. Okay, let's see here. Perfect. And so that's how it is. And so now you can just fold on your score lines. Just like that. How cute is that? Here, I'll get a little bit closer, you can see. And it's so funny because when I give these out, they're like, how did you do that to the paper? And I'm just like, it's an embossing folder. And they're like, a what? So I get to tell them all about the Big Shot. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I gotta get one of those. And then telling them all about embossing folders and stuff like that. So that's really fun. Okay, so that's how it looks. Okay, let me just move all this real quick and we'll move forward. Okay, so next what we need to do is to actually put the Post-it note holder on the inside of the cover. And what I have done is I've just gone to Staples, that's the closest office supply store near me, and I just get their big pack. I think this is 18 pads, and so it's their generic store brand. So these are a lot cheaper than the 3M brand. So just so you know, but the good thing is that you have these, so you actually have 36 pads. So I've already got one divided, and so here, this is the one that I used. So what I do is I just kind of take both of them, and then I just, I try to gauge where the center is, and then I just half it. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I have found that sticky strip is the best. And I do about 3 rows of sticky strip, and I just put it here at the top. And just cut it off. Press it down, and then I'm just going to put 2 more strips on there, and this should be good. This should keep it nice and tight on there, not come off. And then 1 more. Okay. Now let's just remove the red line tape, or the covering, I should say. Okay, and these are really fun to make. They're easy to make, and like I said, the enjoyment that you see from the recipients is just so much fun. Okay, so now what I do is I just kind of put it to the side and just make sure it's centered, and then just press down and then close it. So there you go. So it is all stuck on there. How cute is that? Okay, well, let's make it even cuter by decorating it. And here you can see I used the little crab from C Street. I think I showed you this in one of my top 10 favorite stamps. I just think this is just, I love the lobster and the crab. I don't know what it is about those images, but I just think they're just adorable. And then I just used some of the Maritime Designer Series paper. I'm doing this in Real Red. All right, so let's just stamp out the crab. It's just so cute. Okay, then I'm just going to cut this away. And then I am using a few punches on this. So the first thing I'm using is the 3/4 inch circle punch, and that's what I use to cut out the crab. I just center that, and I just love how these images are sized perfectly for our punches. It just makes it so much easy. It's so nice to be able to layer paper on the images. Now I'm taking the 1-inch circle punch, and I am just going to, I want to get a little bit of red. Let's see here, just find a spot here and punch that out. And then I am taking the 1 1/4 inch scallop circle punch and just going to punch out in real red. Gonna put those off to the side. Okay, so here we go. We've got 3 layers here, and I want my stripes to be on an angle like that. Okay, so I'm going to use a glue dot to put the crab down on Whisper White. I stamped that on Whisper White, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that. And let's see, I want those stripes to be on an angle. I'm just going to put that right there in the center. And then I'm going to use a couple of dimensionals and put this on the scallop circle. Come on. And then center that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paper piercer and the Stampin' Pierce mat, and I'm going to poke little tiny holes in all the little scallops. Get a little bit closer. Oh. Okay, so I'm putting just little tiny little holes, and it just gives it just a little bit of interest. I think it makes it cute. So just stick it on all the scallops in the little center, and if you don't feel like you made the holes quite large enough, you can go back. If you don't have the paper piercer, I've seen people where they take their little white gel pens and just do little dots on the little, there we go, missed one, on the little scallops. So you can do that as well. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to use the 3/8 cotton ribbon in Whisper White, and we're going to just tie a knot around the front of the cover. Just a simple knot. Make sure your ribbon's all straight. Oh, sorry. So here, this is what, redo that again so you can see that I didn't realize I was off camera. There we go. So I kind of pull it tight with my right hand and then pull the tail through my left hand, and then I pull with my left hand. And I know I'm probably doing that backwards for the majority of y'all, so just do it the opposite way that I did. And then cut off the tails to the desired length. And then here on this one, I had the knot on the right side. I think this one I'm going to do a little bit different, and I'm going to have it be on the left side. I'm just going to cut that one just a little bit more. There we go. And then here I just used a few more dimensionals. Just to give it some more dimension, obviously. And Stick it right there. How cute is that? These are just, like I said, these are one of my favorite projects to make. Super simple, doesn't cost a lot of money. It's just some cardstock, you know, Post-it notes obviously, or sticky brands by Staples. And then just some circle punches. So super easy, embossing folder, things like that. So like I said, it's a lot of fun. If you have any questions about how I made any of these, or questions about any of the products that I've used today, please stop on over my website, which is www.istampin.com, and I will be more than happy to help you with anything that you may need. Thanks, ladies. Have a great day. Bye.